Okay, as promised, we set it up. So you can tell back here we had my very frugal racing rig. Hooked the just the Logitech, nothing fancy. But then we plugged in the VR. We calibrated everything, and I will share with you how I feel on the initial take of this VR or Gran Turismo 7. Off the bat, it is very cool. Once you set it up, it is very cool. But the hardware, PlayStation, this is a really bad job. Both of the controllers were not charged, and you need to charge it. And I don't think you can just put batteries in them, so that's not a good thing. So with that regards, it's pretty. It does take a little bit of time to set up. It'll take you a good 15-20 minutes to set it up, per se.
Yeah, our controllers are still charging. It's more of a pet peeve of ours when they ship things that are completely dead, but that's also not good for the batteries.
Yeah, so that's that part. But after you set it up, we did have some initial driving reviews. Again, the graphic, I saw very, very minimum screen door effect, which is cool, really good.
Yeah, it's also hard to tell if that's just because there was a lot of motion on screen. So. And
then I think it was I saw the resolution on the screen setting to be 1440. So that's medium. It's 2K.
That's 2K.
And so it's not quite 4K. But for me, the weirdest thing as I was driving in this virtual cockpit, like all the other, and there'll be clips of it. We have clips of it to show you how crappy I was driving, and so was Justin. The weirdest thing was, while you're in this virtual environment, the virtual environment, you're moving, you're bouncing around, your car's in motion, your body doesn't feel a single thing, which it shouldn't. But your brain is thinking a different thing, and along the way, because I'm a high sensitivity to vertigo, motion sickness, and things like that, I did not feel good. So from that perspective, chances are I'm not going to get back into this cockpit. It's cool. I might try it one more time just for the sake of trying it, but I don't think I'm going to do a long haul. How did you feel?
So I'm the complete opposite of him. I'm able to play a lot of first-person shooters, third-person shooters, all of those games, no problem. This thing immediately, within 2 minutes, I felt like I was gonna throw up.
Yeah, so I'm just not sure who this unit's really is for. I think that's part of the struggle. Now, with before we keep going with all the negative things, the visual execution, meaning the surrounding area, 1 out of 10, I give it like an 8 to 8.5. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, I would as well. This was definitely the clearest VR headset we've ever tried.
And immersive, like being immersed in a virtual environment and the graphics is, while it's not very cartoon-like, while it's not lifelike, it's balance of the two.
Yeah, they're semi-realistic.
It's pretty good, and the details of the cars. I didn't go through a full library of the cars that I had, but it's pretty detailed. The speedometer, everything looks legit. The other thing that was really cool, which I was really impressed with, was driving around the track where it was like the sun was setting. The lighting effect. The lighting effect with the sunlight coming on the right-hand side where the windshield was and where it reflected. That was, to me, I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, there were a good amount of colors in the few minutes we played.
Yeah, we didn't play for hours. There's no way I can go for hours in this thing. So what I will say to you is that this thing is probably going to go back. For almost $600, there's no way I can keep this and play maybe 5 minutes a day. It's not worth it. I'm not going to build up to it. It should be something I enjoy, not something where I have to fight to do. But from a technology perspective, being a late reviewer, there's not a huge library.
Yep.
I will have to say I am impressed with it. For people that can deal with that type of motion imbalance, per se, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, there really aren't a lot of games either, so that's something to keep in mind. but it was a very cool demo, I will say.
Yeah, it's a cool demo. You know what? I think that's a great description. I think it's still beta in a lot of ways. It's not quite ready for prime time. While the price tag in the world of spectrum of how much VR or AR headsets are, this is in reality more towards the mid tier of the spectrum. Because look, I mean, look what just came out. There's a $3,600 head unit that came out from Apple. That's the top end, right? We're going to call that the top end. But like between the Oculus offering, the Meta offering, or whatever you want to call it now, Meta, Oculus, whatever, and the other brands out there, this is on the lower end to the lower middle end of the spectrum because this is $600. Unit is fairly, it's good quality. It's a PlayStation quality.
It is.
It's not like it's a Lego toy set. It's pretty durable. I think you drop once or twice, it wouldn't be an issue for kids.
Yeah. I will still say though, this and the controllers don't feel as dense as the DualSense does. They do feel a little bit more plasticky, so that is just another thing to keep in mind. But that doesn't mean it has a bad build quality.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad build. I would agree with Justin. From a build quality perspective and the density of the feel, it's not as dense as the DualShocks, no doubt. I mean, if DualShock was a 10, these would be like a 6 or 7 at best. It's like you think you can break it, but I don't think you can go through that type of torture. The headset was very disappointing. I put them on. They're earbuds. They're just earbuds. I mean, they're literally $4.99 Amazon specials, if anything at all. So I don't think they're really anything that's spectacular. But what I would say is, Sony, whatever you put in here, the OLED in this guy inside here, I was pretty impressed. I was really impressed. Couple refinements. I think you can do it. Allow this thing to be able to plug into a PC or a Mac. I think that would change the game. Don't wait for a third party to develop some type of adapter to be able to enable that. Just allow it to be able to use as a monitor. I think this thing will sell like hotcakes because the offerings out there right now, they're just very mediocre. And because of the lack of screen door effect on this unit, it's really cool. Now, couple highlights for the people that's going to try it. There's a button right here. You need to follow the instruction. Don't do what I did. There is a button here that retracts the unit front to back so the lens can adjust. And then of course, this here expands the headset. So that will let it work. And as you can tell, Justin actually wears glasses. These work with glasses. It did work, right?
Yeah. So the way you set it up is you actually pull the front of it out first, and then you adjust the headband. It's completely different than a lot of other headsets because normally you just do a headband and then it'll sit on your face. But this one doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think from an execution perspective, this is what Justin's meaning, that it's not 10 out of 10 from a hardware perspective. Then again, it's supposed to be light. And the materials that they use is the silicone, so I think it's pretty durable. It's not a bad unit, it's not. It's just for people like me that are not that prone to motion sickness. I think that this is not optimal for me. But the AR has worked for me because I can still stay intact with the environment, and that helps me out somewhat. And when this thing does start detecting the normal environment, which you can hit a button to get out of the VR, you see a black and white screen, just like what the Oculus does.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess my final thought in this is that I believe that if the price was like $279 and they work out the adaptability, meaning that across platforms like PC, Mac, devices, phones. I mean, no one's gonna walk around this thing, okay? Let's be honest about that. But just being able to plug into those types of devices as a source and then be able to watch a movie or YouTube videos and things like that with it, I think that would be really cool. PS5 and other PS devices, it needs to step up in the library. The offering gotta be a must. You know, I can even for Sony for $249, $279, I can even live with the flimsy earbuds. I'll go buy better headsets. Okay, I can deal with that. But it is definitely high on that, you know, regards. What are your final thoughts?
I think you're asking for too much with the price cut. I think if it just worked with PCs and other devices, that would be enough. Because from what we tried, this was the best VR headset we have ever interacted with.
Okay, that's fair. That's better than even from a simplistic perspective. Even through the Oculus Rift that we had and the Oculus Quest 2, this is by far the most immersed, most clear, and while it's not the cheapest, it was definitely the best offering. How about that?
Yep.
From a technology perspective, not aside from the library and the whole 9 yards. That's just not there. That's just not. Now, to be fair, we haven't gone out to the fully going out to the PlayStation library to see what else is out there, but I assure you that it's just not enough.
Yeah, there isn't much. It's just like some of the Resident Evil stuff, which we're not interested. Horizon Worlds or whatever this thing was supposed to come with, that we're also not interested in. There just isn't enough for it to be a compelling offer.
Yeah, but the motion aspects for me, I can't do it. So I can't do it. But any final words?
I don't have anything else to say.
Well, with that being said, I think that's going to conclude our VR2 experience because, yeah, to his point, he wins. It's going to be 90% chance going back. I'm going to try a little bit more, but the probability is very, very high of this thing going back because Best Buy now also changed their policy unless you're like a whatever member, it's only 15 days like before. So I only got, this is literally day one.
Yep. So
chances are going to go back. But I'm going to tell you that until the library improves and until I can figure out my my ability to adapt to motion sickness or VR world, this thing's not going to stay with us. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks. Peace out. Take care.